Juvenile Act, within 20 days, unless it's extended by both parties, there'll be a dispositional hearing, which is where Jordan will be placed and what treatment facility will take care of him. And so any intervening 20 days, there'll be evaluations done and legwork done to determine the appropriate place for him to be actually housed for treatment with the ultimate goal of getting rehabilitated.
You were allowed to petition the court every 6 months for his release?
Under the Juvenile Act, every 6 months the court gets in effect a progress report, and with the goal being how far along he is to determine whether he's releasable. Well, I think Jordan, he was prepared either way, but for security purposes, the game plan, which went into effect as soon as he stood up, was to get him out of that courtroom as soon as possible. So it was really hard to get any kind of reaction. You agree, Steve?
I would agree.
Chris Brown is, of course, he's disappointed, but he's been through a lot in the last 37 to 38 months. And one thing I've learned in this case from the very early on, when our petition to transfer to juvenile was imposed by the Commonwealth and the court denied it, and we had to take the appeal. The thing I learned in this case is to expect the unexpected. And although I can't say where we are today was unexpected because of the magnitude of the case, but based upon the evidence we saw, and Steve and I cross-examined and presented, and we believe that they failed to meet their verdict beyond reasonable doubt, and we don't believe Jordan is responsible for this.
In fairness to Judge Hahn, this judge had a very, very difficult decision to make. And there are a lot of interests to consider. And we as trial lawyers, we approach every case at this phase, whether it be in juvenile court or adult court, as though it's a search for the truth. And we litigated this case very hard, both sides did. And I think the eye of the juvenile court, in part, although there really shouldn't be any distinction between the proof burdens and the standard of evidence in juvenile court or adult court. I think it's a fundamental principle in juvenile court that rehabilitation is a consideration. And I think in any event, the court was mindful of that. And given the length of his detention and the gravity of this case and all the circumstances surrounding it, I can't help but feel perhaps that was a consideration.